Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome for the new series that we are starting today. So today we are starting this, what I call Bhagavad Gita as it is. So discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. All right. And today is 7th May 2025. So we are on an ongoing, what they call Sastra study marathon. So what we have done is we are doing 2 days nectar of devotion and 2 days on Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so today I'm so excited and thrilled to start this Bhagavad Gita, my most favorite book. And of course, this is an opportunity for me also to go and dwell very deeply into the subject matter. All right. So thanks to every one of you, Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu, Nanda Devi Mataji, Karpia Saraswati Mataji, Sadguna Mataji, and Chana Lakshmi Mataji. My humble obeisances to all of you for coming and showing your enthusiasm to study this subject. Okay. So today, before we start the program, we just do our invocation prayer. The invocation prayer is very, very important to invoke auspiciousness. So before we start the class, we might have many kind of agitation. You know, sometimes you are rushing, or you have not finished your cooking, or you should have received some irritating call in the morning. So all these kind of things. So in order to remove all that kind of things, we invoke auspiciousness. We invoke auspiciousness, and that auspiciousness we call as Mangala Charan. Mangala Charan. So we invoke auspicious blessings from the Guru Varga, from Srila Prabhupada, up to all the Vaishnava devotees, past, present, and in the future also. All right. So Mangala Charan is very, very important. So when we chant the mantra, just meditate in your mind that you're offering a very beautiful garland of flower to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, Srila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji, and all the Vaishnava devotees. Just in your meditation, offer this kind of flowers and all to all the Vaishnava devotees. And in that, then we create auspiciousness, and in that auspiciousness, we begin our session today. So we also pray to all our Guru Varga, Guru Parampara, that we seek blessings. We seek blessings that we will study and understand the subject matter Bhagavad Gita in thoroughly. Because everyone studies Bhagavad Gita, right? But to understand that, of course, the Bhagavad Gita itself has to reveal, because Bhagavad Gita is none other than Krishna. Okay, there's no difference between Bhagavad Gita and Krishna, because Krishna is Bhagavad Gita is Krishna. Krishna is Srimad Bhagavatam, and Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna. There's no difference. Sometimes we are not qualified to have deities in the house, or we cannot do deity worship and all this. But we must understand Bhagavad Gita is deity itself. Okay, it's such a wonderful, very auspicious book, and we will also go through, if got time, then we will just try to go through some of that Mahatmya. The Gita Mahatmya was spoken by Lord Shiva to Mother Parvati in Padma Purana. Padma Purana he'll be explaining what is the benefit of what they call reading chapter 1, reading chapter 2, and all these things. Okay, but before we go into the subject matter, let's do our invocation. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swaparantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttaparakamlam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagar Jadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savatuta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vidamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasachari Satarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaye Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Viknana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jala Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktira Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtai Dina Tarini Rupanuga Viruddha Pasiddhantattvanta Harini Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padam Bhujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidanandanamine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumi Stam Nidasa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarubhauma Shri Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubheva Paditanam pavinibhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Om Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Karati Se Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namstute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Vecha Kripasim Divecha Paitana Bhavani Devashi. Om Namo Bhag Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So, welcome. Bhagavad Gita, it is a book that was spoken by Lord Krishna to Arjuna. And this book was, and this is a conversation between the two personalities, especially in this, what they call, during the war. You know, there is sometimes, like for instance, Gandhi said, he referred Bhagavad Gita in what they call for ahimsa. Okay, how is that possible? Ahimsa, when the thing was spoken in a warfare, right? So there's a lot of speculations and there's a lot of commentary, especially in Bhagavad Gita. So the Bhagavad Gita here, that as it is written by Srila Prabhupada and commented by Srila Prabhupada. The commentary work is, this is considered, he presented this Bhagavad Gita as it is, as how Krishna spoke, and is directly translated as he spoke, and the commentary he commented as by summarizing all the commentaries of all acharyas. So this Bhagavad Gita as it is a perfect, what they call, book that covers everything when in terms of understanding this. All right. So in this situation, what happened? Bhagavad Gita was spoken in a battlefield of Kurukshetra. Okay, battlefield of Kurukshetra. Okay, now the question is, why Kurukshetra was selected? All right, there are so many places that they could select. So why especially Bhagavad Gita was selected in Kurukshetra? Okay, the thing is, in Kurukshetra, there is a place where all the great, what they call, sacrifices and great, this thing has been done. Okay, so in other words, what they call, so all the great sacrifices and this, and also there's a place where Parshuram did all the penance and all these things. So the Kurukshetra has an advantage. That means in Kurukshetra, if you fight in Kurukshetra, okay, it's a very auspicious place. And to fight or die in Kurukshetra, it gives you what they call, it gives you what they call moksha or liberation. All right. So they have selected. So there's two parties here, Kaurava and Pandava. So their two parties have, they all selected the place because of this one reason. If you win the war, you get the kingdom. If you lose the war, that means lose the war means in what? The Kshatriya means lose the war means get killed. If a person get killed in Kurukshetra, he'll straight go to heaven. So it is a win-win situation. You die, you go to heaven. You live, you get the kingdom. So it's such a, what they call an amazing kind of situation, right? So when you look at this, the situation here was set in like this, okay? So the situation was set like this, okay, number one. So the Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Sri Krishna, and he spoke he spoke to Arjuna. Okay, you all can see the slide, right? Can you all see the slide?
Can see.
Yes, Guru, can see.
All right. So that means the thing was spoken by Lord Krishna, and he spoke to Arjuna. Okay, when the thing was spoken approximately 5,000 years ago, that means more than 5,000 years ago. All right. So when you talk about 5,000 years ago, this is a kind of very unique book that has been spoken 5,000 years ago, and the subject matter still valid till today. Okay. So if you look at any kind of other philosophy, so like for instance, certain philosophy that we hear, it's some or other it is not practical in this age. All right, certain things is not practical, but this book Bhagavad Gita, since it's spoken 5,000 years ago, and the subject still valid till today. That is how Krishna has put in a limelight. It means that's why that word spoken by the Lord, right? So now it's spoken 5,000 years ago. Where it was spoken in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Okay, as I explained to you, Kurukshetra, what is the advantage? When the person get killed in Kurukshetra, they go to heaven. And if they win the war, they'll get the kingdom. So total number of verses spoken was 700 verses. All right, total number of verses, 700 verses. Okay, now who are the speaker? Number one, Dhritarashtra. Later I'll explain to you who. Okay, Dhritarashtra is the blind king. All right, the blind king. Okay, how the thing happened? Okay, anyway, I don't go into that. It's quite detailed. So as we go on, okay. So first spoken were Dhritarashtra, and he spoke to what? Sanjaya. So Dhritarashtra asked a question, and Sanjaya spoke to him. All right. So Sanjaya contributed 41 verses in this Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Sanjaya is actually what they call Sanjaya is actually what you call the prime minister of the kingdom. All right, and he has that strength. He has the power to foresee. And Sanjaya is also disciple of Vyasadeva. Okay, so since he has that kind of what they call since he has that power, the mystic power, while sitting in the kingdom, he could foresee everything, and through that he explained what happened in this what they call in that warfare. All right, what happened, who spoke, and whatever things. Okay, now and then Arjuna spoke 84 times. So that means Arjuna asked question 84 times and spoke, he lamented 84 times, spoke 84. And Krishna spoke 574 verses. So Dhritarashtra spoke one verse, Sanjaya is 41, Arjuna is 84, and Krishna 574. So what we can understand from here? So within that 574 verses, Krishna summarized the entire Veda, right? The entire Veda. So that means in Bhagavad Gita is a summary of the entire Vedas, or what you're supposed to know. So we understand from here that in that warfare, we have they have no time to chit chat, because the war is about to start, and whatever things they need to speak, they have to go straight to the point. This, right? So that means they have to keep it very straight to the point. They cannot go around, beat around the bush, speak philosophy, do this, do that. They have no time. They have to go straight to the point. All right. So therefore, in 574 verses, Krishna gave the essence of the entire Veda. What is the goal of entire Vedas? What a person should know. So in these 574 verses, whatever things that we learn from Bhagavad Gita, it is enough. It's sufficient. There's nothing more that you need to aspire for. All right. So now when you look at the Kaurava is the kingdom. I mean, the one led by Duryodhana, and Pandava is led by Arjuna. Okay. Now, who is Kaurava and Pandava? Kaurava, actually, Pandavas is all under same kingdom called Kaurava kingdom. All right. They call kingdom of Kurus. But because it's a fight between the brothers, it has been separated as Kaurava and also Pandava. Okay. So, so when you look at this, so it's a, okay, now the size of Kaurava army is 11 Akshoni. Okay, the word is 11 Akshoni. And the size of Pandava army is 7 Akshoni. All right, what is that Akshoni means? Now, okay, number one, Akshoni means 1 Akshoni is equivalent to 21,870 chariots. Okay, there's a chariot battalion, chariot. 21,870 elephants, elephant infantry. You know, they'll have an elephant. 65,610 horses, the soldiers who goes on horse. 109,350 infantry, the foot soldiers. So total they have 218,700 human. All right, soldiers are involved in the fight. So how they divided? They divided in this thing called 1, 1, 3, and 5. So 1 means every chariot, they'll have 1 elephant, and they have 3 horses, and they have 5 infantry. So this is all combined called 1 Akshoni. So now total we have how many? 11. That means imagine this 21. This times by 11 is the size of Kaurava army, and times by 7 is the size of Pandava army. So that means this is the army. This all set up, and they all get there, and they wanted to fight. So what we understand from this also, that that this what they call this is the world's biggest civil war in the history of mankind. The civil war means what? Fight among people. All right. So when there's one country, when the citizens fight among themselves, this is called a civil war. Okay. At the same time, this is the world's largest civil war that fought between brothers, cousins. All right. Cousins. All right. Now, how the thing happened like this? First, there is 3 brothers. All right. First, Dhritarashtra was born. Okay. When Dhritarashtra was born, he was born as a blind man. Okay, he was born as a blind man. Then second, the second son, it is second boy. His name is Pandava. Pandava. So Pandu. Pandu means what? The one who are pale. So when Pandu was born, he was pale. You know, pale. That means he don't have any luster in his body. He's pale. All right, as though there's not enough blood in the body or something. So he's pale. That's why he was named as Pandu. And the third was what do you call? What is it? Vidura. All right. The third son is Vidura. Okay, it is like this. The first son was born to a royal queen. The second was also royal queen. But the third, Vidura, was born to maid servant. Okay, it's a maid servant. Of course, it's elaborately explained in Mahabharata. In Mahabharata, it's explained how the thing happened. Okay, so when all this born, first the Dhritarashtra was born blind. So when he was born blind, he was not fit to be the king. He was not fit to be the king. Then the second, they passed the kingdom to Pandu. All right. So after Pandu dies, the kingdom cannot be inherited to his younger brother Vidura, because Vidura was born under this, what they call, he was a son of a maid servant. So he doesn't fit to become the king. All right. So the conflict is between the 2 elder brothers. All right. Dhritarashtra and Pandu. So Dhritarashtra is a blind person. So what happened when the kingdom that's supposed to be his, but it was given to his younger brother, so he became very envious. That's why, as I said yesterday, you can use your talent. You can kama, krodha, moga. Kama means lust. Krodha means anger. Kama, krodha, moha. That means kama, krodha, moha. Moha is what? Sense gratification. All these kind of things can be utilized for Krishna. Okay. Jealousy. What they call? Over-endeavoring. What they call? Anger. Then lust. All these can be utilized for Krishna service. You know, say like for instance, Arjuna. I mean, what they call? Hanuman used his anger to serve Lord Ram. Okay, and we devotees, we create children. We use lust to bring in Krishna conscious children. Okay, they call Garbha Dana Samskara. Then all these things. Okay, we will study that in Nectar of Devotion. All these can be utilized. The only thing that cannot be utilized is envy. Envy means what? Vaitarchal. that Vaita Irichal or envy is the disaster. For a devotee who are very envious, Vaita Irichal devotee, they will become a ghost in next birth. But for a non-devotee who are very envious, they will born as a snake in next birth. Because the envy is the only thing that cannot be utilized in Krishna service. And Krishna says so many times, you know, when we go through Bhagavad Gita, we will learn that because you're not envious of me, I reveal this secret to you. Because you are dear to me, because you're not envious. All right. So now you see the highlight of the enviousness of a person. The Dhritarashtra was so envious of his younger brother. Again, envious means what in Tamil? Vaita Irichal. Vaita Irida, yo, na, Vaita Irichal. All right. So this kind of envy, he utilized, he was so envious of his younger brother. Why? Because he's born blind. He's supposed to inherit the kingdom. He couldn't get the kingdom. All right. So then Pandu inherited the kingdom. Then after that, all right, because of his some curse and all these kind of things, he died when he was young. He died young. When he died young, he had 5 children, and all that 5 children, Pandu's son became Pandava. And the 5 children was orphaned at a young age. They became an orphan, all right, with a young wife. Okay, Kunti Devi. So, they became, and therefore, since it's a very young, she's a young widow with 5 young children, the Bhishma, the grandfather of the kingdom, all right, the grandsire, they call it, Bhishma came forward and took care of their children. He came and took care of their 5 children, all right? So now the deal is like this, all right? They cannot pass the kingdom to Vidura because Vidura is born of maidservant. So he don't qualify. So they say, never mind, I give you the kingdom. Gave to who? Gave to Dhritarashtra, the blind king. I give you the kingdom. So you keep the kingdom for some time. You keep the kingdom for some time. Once Yudhishthira, the son of Pandu, he grew up, he become able, then you pass the kingdom back to him. Okay, you pass the kingdom back to Yudhishthira. So that was the setting. Okay, now, then as they grew up and everything, so the envious king, the Vaitarichal king, the envious king, what he did, without anyone's thing, he installed his son as the king, Duryodhana as a king. So once he installed the son as a king, then he installed the king, and somehow or other by deceit, he chased all that 5 boys into exile. So after they came back after exile, they think after many years of exile, they thought people will forget. And during that exile, there was a many plot to kill the Pandavas. All right, there's a wax house. There's so many plots to kill Pandavas. All right, the last year of that exile, they have to be incognito. Incognito means what? Nobody can identify them. All the 5 boys must go into hiding. If anyone identify them, they will extend the exile. So what happened? That's when what they call Arjuna become eunuch. You know eunuch in Tamil? Eunuch in Tamil, in Malay, what we call Pondan. All right, Pondan. So he became that, and he went to like he acted like a Pondan, and went into the with the princess and everything. Bhima became the take care of the cows and all that army. Now they call army asset lah. Those days like elephant, horses, he take care. Like that, all the 5 brothers went into incognito. After they completed that, they came back. After they came back, they asked for their rightful claim. I want to get this kingdom back. Give back this kingdom back to me. But they said, cannot. And because of that, the war was declared. And because of that, it's a disaster. The entire Kuru was destroyed. All the soldiers on both sides, all were killed, except the Pandavas and Ashwatthama. All right? The Ashwatthama survived. Of course, then later he was cursed, and this is another big story. We study that in Srimad Bhagavatam. So what we can understand from this, all right, the first quality as a devotee we must have, we should be humble and tolerant. If we are not that, if we have envy or in Vaitarichal, that can cause a big disaster. It's very, very dangerous habit. If you all think you all have envy in your heart, you have to work in a way to get rid that enviousness in your heart. It's very important. Of course, as we go on chanting Hare Krishna, we are studying that nectar of devotion in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Some or other, we will come to the level of getting liberated from that envious environment. All right. So with that meditation, let's start our session here. So I hope that all of you got a Bhagavad Gita with you. Yes or not? How many of you don't have a Bhagavad Gita as it is? Everyone? Say something. Hello? Am I audible?
Yeah, yes, you're audible.
Right. So,
That's what
okay.
we have.
Okay. So keep the Bhagavad Gita handy in your hand. Okay. All right. So we are using Veda base. Okay. So as usual, we always read from the first. Let me see what is the size. Okay. Is this size okay for Bhagavad Gita? 100% or 110? Which is better?
This is better.
110. Okay. All right. So now let's look at setting the scene. Although widely published, now Prabhupada is explaining what is the reason for creating this Bhagavad Gita. So he says, although widely published and read by itself, Bhagavad Gita originally appear as an episode in Mahabharata. All right. So Mahabharata is what? Is the epic Sanskrit history of the ancient world. So the word that we should see here, it is actually the history. All right. Nowadays, people are saying that Mahabharata is a mythology. It's a myth. All right. Mythology. So it's not that. It is a great history of India, ancient world. All right. So now, so when you see that Mahabharata, so that means in the entire Mahabharata, under the section of Bhishma Parva, in between the this Bhagavad Gita was inserted. So when people are reading, they stumble upon it. All right, we will study that as we go on. So the Mahabharata tells of the event. Okay. Okay. So the Mahabharata tells of events leading up to the present age of Kali. So Mahabharata is what? Tells the event leading up to the present age of Kali. Okay. Now, it was the beginning of this age, some 50 centuries ago. That means every century is 100 years. So 50 century means 5,000 years ago, that Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to his friend and devotee Arjuna. Their discourses, one of the greatest philosophical and religious dialogue known to men. All right. They are not simply speaking. All right. They are not simply talking, but their discourse is one of the greatest philosophical and religious dialogue. Okay. Known to men. Took place just before the onset of the war. Just before the war. Okay. Or with the war, the great fratricidal conflict between hundreds of sons of this thing. Okay. Great fratricidal conflict between the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra, and on the opposing side, their cousins, the Pandava, or the sons of Pandu. Dhritarashtra and Pandu were brothers, born in Kuru dynasty. Okay, Dhritarashtra and Pandu were brothers, born in Kuru dynasty, descending from King Bharata. So this comes under the kingdom from King Bharata, the former ruler of the earth, from whom the name Mahabharata derives. Okay, now we understand where the Mahabharata came, because it comes under the family member of King Bharata. Because Dhritarashtra, the elder brother, was born blind, the throne that otherwise would have been his, was passed down to his younger brother called Pandu. As I've already explained that. So when Pandu died at an early age, his 5 children, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nagula, Sahadeva, came under the care of Dhritarashtra. They all came under Dhritarashtra. So that means the elder uncle take care of them, who is in fact became for some time being the king. That means for some time he became the king. Thus, the sons of Dhritarashtra and those of Pandu grew up in the same royal household. So that means all that Duryodhana and all this gang, and including this thing, they grew up in a same place. Both were trained in military arts by the expert Drona. All right, those both would teach the art of fighting by the expert Dronacharya, and counsel by the revered grandfather of the clan, Bhishma. So the Bhishma is the revered grandfather and Drona is the expert teacher. Okay. Yet the sons of Dhritarashtra, especially the eldest. So now the sons of Dhritarashtra, especially the eldest, Duryodhana, hated and envied. See, this is the word envy, very dangerous. He hated and envied the Pandavas. And the blind and weak-minded Dhritarashtra wanted his son, not those of Pandu, to inherit the kingdom. Thus Duryodhana, with Dhritarashtra's consent, okay, thus Duryodhana, with the Dhritarashtra's consent, that means by the approval of his father, okay, plotted to kill the young sons of Pandu. They plotted both to kill the young sons of Pandu, and it was only by the careful protection of their uncle Vidura. Who is Vidura again? Can anyone tell me? Who's Vidura? Hare Krishna.
The Sudra son.
No, not the son of Sudra. Yes, Sudra's son. Yes, correct. That means Vidura is the Chitapa, the youngest brother in that Kuru dynasty. That means taken care by their Chitapa, or they call Vidura, and their cousin. So now we understand Krishna is actually the cousin. How Krishna became the cousin? Krishna's father, Nanda Maharaj, sister is Kunti Devi. So Krishna, Kunti Devi is atte for Krishna. So the Pandavas are known as their machans, right? Machans, Atta Magan. Okay, so that's the cousin. So the cousin of Lord Krishna. And the Pandavas escaped many attempts against their life. Now, Lord Krishna was not an ordinary man, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, who had descended to earth and was playing the role of a prince in a contemporary dynasty. In this role, he was also a nephew of Pandu's wife Kunti, or Pritha. So now Kunti got two names, huh? Okay, Pandu's wife. Pandu's wife. First, she's known as Kunti Devi, because that's when we will understand, oh, son of Kunti. So we understand Krishna will address Arjuna as son of Kunti, and also he also will be understand as Pritha, son of Pritha. All right, they are the mothers of Pandavas. So both as a relative and as an eternal upholder of religion, Krishna favored the righteous son of Pandu and protected them. Ultimately, however, the clever Duryodhana challenged the Pandava to a gambling match. In the course of that fateful tournament, Duryodhana and his brothers took possession of Draupadi. Draupadi is actually the wives of Pandavas, all right? So they took the possession of the Draupadi, the chaste and devoted wife of the Pandavas. Then what they did, they insultingly tried to strip her naked, all right? Because she was so beautiful, so pretty. Of course, she has offended Duryodhana. She used to laugh at Duryodhana nowadays. So now they took the opportunity to strip her naked in the assembly of princes and kings. Krishna's divine intervention saved her, but the gambling, which was rigged, cheated the Pandava of their kingdom and forced them into the 13 years of exile. All right. So Saguni, which is the Thai Maman for Duryodhana, he made that dice from a bone, I think from his father or something like that, and with mystical power, some black magic. That's why sometimes you see when people who want to go and gamble, they like to go and see the Bomo. You know, sometimes with the, every house they used to throw the thing, or the Bomo will pray for you. They give you a number, map you, sure can strike big money. All right. So that means the gambling is always linked with this occult or black magic. Sometimes we go to the Bomo, we go to the Samyar who are dancing with all these things. Number adikuma, can I get strike number or not? So it's like that. So he used that. That means he had the same thing. Then he cheated them with a mystical thing, and by that they usurped the kingdom and forced them into 13 years of exile. So 12 years of exile, 1 year of incognito. As I said just now, they have to act differently, that they cannot be identified. If anyone identified, add another 13 years. So like that, okay? So upon returning from exile, the Pandavas rightfully requested their kingdom from Duryodhana, who bluntly refused to yield it. All right, they came there and Duryodhana, he said nothing doing, bluntly. So duty bound as a prince. So that's their job as a prince, to serve the public administration. The 5 Pandavas reduced their request. They said, Nama, you don't give me the kingdom, give us mere 5 village. Duryodhana arrogantly replied, no, he won't even spare them enough land into which drive a pin. Even ஒரு முள்ளு விடுற அளவு, ஒரு pin, the pin drop. How? Not even that piece of land I will give it. So throughout all these, the Pandavas has been consistently tolerant in the forbearing. For now, war seems to be inevitable. So they try to discuss, nothing work. Now they have to declare war. Nonetheless, as the prince of the world divided, some siding the sons of Dhritarashtra. That means what? Or as the princes of the world. Princes of the world means what? All the kings around the world assemble, they got divided. Half go to this side and half go to that side. Right? Into the some siding the sons of Dhritarashtra. Others with the Pandavas. Krishna himself took the role of a messenger for the sons of Pandu. Okay? Krishna took the messenger sons of Pandu and went to court of Dhritarashtra to plead for peace. When he's plead means what? He went and want to have a peace negotiation. But when his plea was refused, war was now certain. They have no choice but to fight the war. The Pandavas, men of the highest moral stature, recognized Krishna to be the supreme personality of Godhead, whereas the impious sons of Dhritarashtra did not. They couldn't understand Krishna as the supreme. Yet Krishna offered to enter the war according to the desire of antagonist. Right? So all the desire of this, he entered to the war. But as a god, he would not personally fight. He said as a god, he would not personally fight. But whoever desired might avail him of Krishna's army. All right. Okay. So now, desired himself as Krishna's army, that means the other side could have Krishna himself as an advisor and helper. So it was like this. So Krishna was not allowed to fight. The deal is like that. Krishna enters, but he's not going to fight. All right. So when Krishna was sleeping, he was lying down, nap, Duryodhana came to see him because he's trying to get people outside. So Duryodhana was on his height, on his side of the height. At the same time, Arjuna also came. And Arjuna was at the lotus feet of Krishna. And what he did, he gently massaged Krishna's leg. So that massage woke Krishna up. So when he woke up, he saw Arjuna. Hey, Arjuna, you're here. Then behind, that's at the head side, Duryodhana said, hey, I came first. Then he looked back. Oh, you are here also. Yes. So what made you to come here? Right? What made you to come here? I said, no, I came. Okay, now Arjuna asked first. Okay, because we want to get a party for our team. I want to know which party you're going to join. Okay, that was the question. Then after that, what Arjuna said, what Krishna said, I saw Arjuna first. But Duryodhana said, I came first. You came first, but I saw Arjuna first. Because Arjuna was right in front of me. I saw him first. I asked him. All right. So the question is like this. Do you want me? And if you choose me, I will never fight the war. I only can advise you. Or you want my army. That means you want to have the army from Dwaraka, the Vishnu Sena. You want my army or do you want me? And Duryodhana became very quite agitated. He said. Then Duryodhana and Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, I want you, not your army. And Duryodhana was so excited. Oh, what a fool Arjuna is. You should have asked for the army. Because this fellow is only going to advise. He's not going to talk. He's not going to fight. Then Duryodhana, are you happy with my army? Yes, I'll take your army. Then the army went to Duryodhana and Krishna came to Arjuna as an advisor and helper. So Duryodhana is a political genius, snatched Krishna's armed force, while Pandava were equally eager to have only Krishna himself. In this way, Krishna became a charioteer for Arjuna, taking it upon himself to drive the fabled bowman chariot. You know, to become a chariot rider, it is a kind of a job of a Shudra. You know why? The chariot rider will be riding. The person behind who is going to shoot, the soldier, cannot tell you, go right, go left, go right, go left, right. They cannot say that. You know, they cannot say that. you know what they will do? They will kick on the back. The person behind standing, he will kick on the right shoulder and the chariot rider will take you to the right. Then when he kicks to your left shoulder, the chariot will go to the left. That is how, all right? There's no staring like last time, right? So they will learn by kicking. That is why during the war in Mahabharata, when Dronacharya was asked to become a chariot rider for what they call, what is his name? Karna, when he asked to become, and Dronacharya became very offended. He became very offended. How can I be a chariot rider for this son of a Shudra? Because he's the son of a chariot rider, right? So now, but still Krishna was so merciful. He accepted this offer. And that is how Krishna got the name Partha Sarthi. Partha means son of Pritha. So son of Pritha, he got a name Partha, Arjuna. Sarthi means rider, chariot rider. That's why Krishna got another name called Partha Sarthi. Right? Okay. So this brings to the point of which Bhagavad Gita begins. So this is the time where actually the Bhagavad Gita, all right, okay, begin. Where is it? Right? And with the two armies arrayed, ready to combat, Dhritarashtra actually inquired to the secretary, what did they do? So now both are ready to fight. The war is set, time is set, place is set. Now, what happened? Arjuna, the Bhima, Dhritarashtra sitting in that palace. He worried. He wanted to know what is happening because he cannot see. So he called upon Sanjaya and asked, what did they do? The scene is set with only the need of brief note regarding the translation and commentary. Now Prabhupada is explaining here. The general pattern translator have followed the rendering Bhagavad Gita into English has been brushed aside the person Krishna to make room for their own concept of philosophy. So what does it mean? So that means now Prabhupada is explaining, in Bhagavad Gita, there are so many people attempt to write Bhagavad Gita into English. There's so many editions of, I think there's almost, 500 over editions of Bhagavad Gita available outside. All right. But most of it, almost all of it, other than Gaudiya Vaishnava Bhagavad Gita, okay, other than that, it has, you know what they have done? They brush aside, they push aside the person Krishna. All right, the real character is Krishna and Arjuna. They push aside Krishna for what? To make room for their own concept and philosophies. All right, for speculate the philosophy. So the history of the Mahabharata is taken as quaint mythology. So now the history of Mahabharata, it became a mythology or Karpana Kada or imagination. And Krishna now became a poetic device. So they say, oh, Krishna is a great poet. He's supposed to be the supreme person, but they say he's a great poet. All right. For presenting the ideas for some anonymous genius. That means why? For presenting the ideas of some anonymous genius. That means so genius, he created the idea. So they thought that Krishna is the poet. All right. Or at his best became minor historical personage. Okay. But the person Krishna is both. But now but the person Krishna is both the goal and the substance of Bhagavad Gita. So the Bhagavad Gita, the substance of Bhagavad Gita is to know Krishna. The Krishna is the goal as far as Gita speaks itself. The translation then and the commentary, this translation then the commentary that accompanies it, it proposes that to direct reader to Krishna. That means what? This translation, this translation is a commentary and that accompanies. That means there's a commentary accompanies. That means after you see verse, translation and commentary or purport, it is meant to propose the direct reader to Krishna, to encourage people to directly connect to Krishna rather than stay away from Krishna. The Bhagavad Gita thus became wholly consistent and comprehensible. Since Krishna is the speaker of the Gita, it is ultimate goal as well. The Bhagavad Gita as it is presents this great scripture in its true terms. All right. Now let's look at this. So now Srila Prabhupada dedicating this book to Sri Baladev Vidya Bhushan, who presented nicely the Govinda Bhashya commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. So Govinda Bhashya means the commentary of Bhagavad Gita. So he's using that as a distinct. So he's dedicated his book to Srila Baladev Vidya Bhushan. All right. Now, okay. Now is the Now we're going to go through this thing. Okay. Preface. So originally, Prabhupada explained, originally I wrote Bhagavad Gita as it is in the form of which is presented now. When this book was first published, the original manuscript was unfortunately cut short to less than 400 pages. When he first wrote, it's only less than 400 pages, without illustration and without explanation for the most of the original verse of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Right? All is cut short. I mean, you just put the verse and the translation, that's it. So there is no explanation. In all of my other books, like Srimad Bhagavatam, Ishopanishad, etc., the system is that I give the original verse. So Prabhupada says, I give the original verse, then it's English translation, then word to word Sanskrit English equivalent, then translation and purports. Okay, that's how it's standard. This makes the book very authentic. Why? This makes the book very authentic and scholarly. Okay, it makes the book very authentic, and that's why you cannot argue, because it's very authentic and scholarly, and also makes the meaning self-evident. I was not very happy, therefore, when I had to minimize my original manuscript. So then I was not happy to minimize it, just verse and the sloka and the translation. But later on, when the demand for Bhagavad Gita as it is considerably increased, I was requested by many scholars and devotees to present the book in its original form. Thus, the present attempt is to offer the original manuscript of this great book of knowledge with full parampara explanation. It is not just a mere explanation, but all the parampara explanation in order to establish the Krishna conscious movement more soundly and progressively. Our Krishna conscious movement is genuine, historically authorized, natural. Why natural? We have studied. Because it's a natural propensity of a man to love Krishna. So natural and transcendental due to its being based on Bhagavad Gita as it is. It is gradually becoming the most popular movement in the entire world, especially among the younger generation. It is becoming more and more interesting to the older generation also. Older gentlemen are being interested, so much so that the fathers and grandfathers of my disciple are encouraging us by becoming life members of our great society. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness. In Los Angeles, many fathers and mothers used to come to see me to express their feeling and gratitude for my leading the Krishna conscious movement throughout the entire world. Why? Because their children some of them are hippies and this thing, and the parents are very grateful to Prabhupada. Some of them say that it is great fortunate for the America that I have started the Krishna conscious movement in America. Even they say it's very fortunate, America is very fortunate. But actually, the original father of this movement is Lord Krishna himself. All right. Since I was started a very long time ago, but it's coming down to human society by disciplic succession. It comes under the Parampara system. If I have any credit in this connection, so now let's see what Prabhupada is explaining here. If I have any credit in this connection, so that means if I've done this, if I have any praises, any credit, it does not belong to me personally. He says it's not belong to me personally, but it's due to my eternal spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa, Parivijakacharya 108 Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada. So he says, if there's anything to me, actually nothing to me. Everything belongs to my eternal spiritual master. Once we accept a spiritual master, your relationship is eternal. His Divine Grace, Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivajakacharya 108 Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada. So Prabhupada says he is not taking any credit to this. If personally I have any credit in this matter, right? Then after that Prabhupada says, but people say, no, Prabhupada, you are being humble. How can that be? Then Prabhupada continues. He said, if personally I have any credit in this matter, that means the word you must understand if. Prabhupada says if. It's not say there is, I have any credit. You didn't see the word I. He used the word if. If personally I have any credit in this matter, it is only that I have tried to present Bhagavad Gita as it is. All right? I present the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Then how? Without any adulteration. All right, there's no adulteration. That means he didn't give his own personal opinion. No adulteration. Before my presentation of Bhagavad Gita as it is, almost all English edition of Bhagavad Gita were introduced to fulfill someone's personal ambition. All right, there's so many editions, but they just want to fulfill their personal ambition. But our attempt in presenting Bhagavad Gita as it is to present the mission of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Our business is to present the will of Krishna, not that any mundane speculator like the politician, philosopher, or scientist. So we understand the politicians, philosophers, or scientists are some or other, they are the mundane speculators. For they have very little knowledge of Krishna, despite all their other knowledge. When Krishna says, Man mana bhavat bhakto man yajimam namaskuru, ma meshe satyam te, right? When he says, Man mana bhavat bhakto man yajimam namaskuru, we unlike the so-called scholars, we are not like the so-called scholar, do not say that Krishna and his inner spirit are different. That's the thing they have said. All right. So they say man mana, that means they say the inner spirit of Krishna and Krishna are different. So now we understand Krishna is absolute and there's no difference between Krishna's name, Krishna form, qualities, pastimes, etc. No difference. This absolute position is difficult to understand for any person who is not a devotee of Krishna. So who will understand? Only the devotee of Krishna will understand that. In the system of parampara, disciplic succession. So that means anything that we do, we have to get it from the parampara system. Generally, the so-called scholars, Prabhupada explained, politicians, philosophers, and swamis. There's so many bogus swamis around without perfect knowledge of Krishna. Try to banish or kill Krishna when writing commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Such unauthorized commentary upon Bhagavad Gita is known as Mayavada Bhashya. Right? It's called, the unauthorized commentary is called Mayavada Bhashya. Right? The Lord Chaitanya has warned us about this unauthorized man. You know, they say that Nectar of Devotion, you'll study that. It's better for me to stay locked in a cage in the dense forest fire. That means there's an iron cage. You get locked inside, surrounded by forest fire. I'd rather be there than even a single moment of association with Mayavadi. We have understood so many, if those who have come for Bhakti Loka, so many times, Bhakti Vinod Thakur express, he says, do not in whatever circumstances associate with Mayavadis. Association of Mayavadi, it is just like you are going on a suicide mission. All right, if you're going on a suicide mission, what is the end of that suicide mission? You will get killed or you will die. You'll commit suicide. Now you put the bomb, you walk. What is the end? Explode yourself. That's it. So similarly, associated with Mayavadi, it's as though that you are going on a suicide mission. And even Lord Chaitanya has warned. So Lord Chaitanya clearly says that anyone who tries to understand Bhagavad Gita, so Lord Chaitanya also says, anyone who tries to understand Bhagavad Gita from the Mayavadi point of view will commit a great blunder. Like sometimes when I used to do the Gita Gyan class, they say, hey, I got this my Bhagavad Gita, I got that. I say, get rid of all that Bhagavad Gita. Just refer to Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. Why? What's the difference? Why? So this kind of is a great blunder. The result of such blunder, what happened? The result of such blunder, will that be misguided student of Bhagavad Gita will certainly be bewildered, confused on the path of spiritual guidance, and will not be able to go back home, back to Godhead. They will never go back home, back to Godhead. Our only purpose is to present the Bhagavad Gita as it is in order to guide the conditioned soul. So that means the purpose, the only purpose Prabhupada says, that means in Bhagavad, he has only one purpose in life. He is to present the Bhagavad Gita as it is, without any adulteration. For what? In order to guide the conditioned soul, conditioned students, to the same purpose of which Krishna descended on the planet once a day in Brahma. So he just came and just say at the same purpose. What is that purpose? Krishna descend to the planet in once in a day of Brahma. What is that purpose? And that is that purpose of Bhagavad Gita. And what is that one day of Brahma? Or in other words, is every 8,600,000,000 years. So what we can understand from this, my dear Prabhus and mothers, every 8,600,000 human years, or in other words, when you look at Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga, the four combination, it is called one Divya Yuga. Times by 1,000, that means 1,000 Satya Yuga, 1,000, the 1,000 Divya Yuga is equivalent to 12 days of Brahma, 12 hours. All right. So Brahma has 24 hours. So times by 2. So 2 Divya, what they call, what is the word I said just now? Divya Yuga, 2 Divya Yugas. Or, say, okay, sorry. Again, let me say again. So 1-4 combination is 1 Divya Yuga. When you times by 1,000, it is half day of Brahma. So times by 1,000 means what? Kalpa. So 1,000 Divya Yugas is called 1 Kalpa. Okay, half day. So there is 2 Kalpa. First day 24 hours, night 24 hours. So when you look at that calculation, is 8,600,000,000 years. And today you are all so fortunate. Why? Because definitely within the end of the day of Brahma, within that 8,600,000,000 years, within that, you will be somehow or other will be elevated to go back home, back to God. That's why we studied in Nectar of Devotion yesterday, right? So somehow or other, a person can be, you will be elevated. If not, you just going to go on the transmigration from the higher plane, higher species to the lower species like that. You're just going around like a merry-go-round, like a Ferris wheel, down, up and down, up and down, up and down, right? So he came only such a long period. If you miss the boat, you have to wait for the next kalpa. After the next kalpa, after the 2 kalpa is ended, that means tonight is during daytime when Brahma is awake. When it comes to night, when Brahma goes to bed, the entire creation will be destroyed, right? Then the next day, that means you have to wait at least for 2 kalpa before you get Krishna back to your life. And you know what? Krishna just left 5,000 years ago. It's not far, all right? And Lord Chaitanya appeared just 500 years ago. Sometimes when you look at some scriptures like Bible or Quran and all this, after 500 years, now within that 500 years, there's a big transformation start happening. Then after that, eventually it become a global outreach. So that means we are still considered the pioneers after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he just left 500 years ago. And how many devotees are there in the world? You know, you really calculate and see, can it be what, 10 million, 20 million? I don't think so. All right. It is still, I think, at least hundreds of thousands. All right. ISKCON itself, I think, got around 80 to 70, 80,000 around there. And including Gaudiya Math, 100, 200,000, 250,000, 250,000 devotees in the world. That means it's still brand new. Eventually in the future, it's going to be world dominant religion. All right. Prabhupada predicted that one day even American president will be a devotee. Now you see the FBI secretary is a Hare Krishna devotee, Tulasi Gabbard. So some or other she entered there. All right. So like that. Okay. So every 8,600,000,000 years is once a day of Brahma. He designed that idea. This purpose is studied in Bhagavad Gita, and we have to accept it as it is. We have to accept it as it is. Otherwise, there's no point of trying to understand Bhagavad Gita and his speaker, Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna first spoke Bhagavad Gita to the sun god. First, he spoke to Vivaswan some 100 million years ago. We have to accept this fact. We cannot say this is another mythology. No, because Krishna said for a few 100 million years ago, some 100 million years ago, first I spoke this Bhagavad Gita to the Vivaswan, sun god. But after that, the parampara disappeared. All right, we will study that in Bhagavad Gita later. But that means we have to accept this fact and thus understand the historical significance of Bhagavad Gita without misinterpretation on the authority of Krishna. Imagine in 70s, 60s, 1970, when you compile this book, imagine when presenting to the American, he says some 100 million years ago, Krishna spoke this to sun god. Say, what? You know, the Americans are atheistic, they are this thing, but still, Prabhupada never compromised. He presented as it is. We can see this, right? So to interpret Bhagavad Gita without any reference will to Krishna is the greatest offense. In order to save oneself from this offense, one has to understand the Lord as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he was directly understood by Arjuna, Lord Krishna's first disciple. Such understanding of Bhagavad Gita is really profitable and author. Please mark this word. He was directly understood by Arjuna, Lord Krishna's first disciple. Because there's an explanation for this later. If you can underline, you underline. So now, such understanding of Bhagavad Gita is really profitable and authorized for the welfare of human society in fulfilling the mission of life. The Krishna conscious movement is essential in human society, for it offers the highest perfection of life. How is it so explained fully in Bhagavad Gita? Unfortunately, mundane wranglers have taken advantage of Bhagavad Gita to push forward their demoniac propensity and misled people regarding the right understanding of the simple principle of life. Simple principle of life. Everyone should know how God or Krishna is great, and everyone should know the factual position of the living entity. Everyone should know that the living entity is eternal, a servant, and that unless one serves Krishna, one has to serve illusion in different varieties. All right? So they have to serve in different varieties of the three modes of material nature. You understand the three modes, right? Okay. And thus wander perpetually within the cycle of birth and death. So everyone should know the living entity is eternal. First, everyone should know the factual position of the living entity. First, you must understand what is a living entity. Second, they must know the living entity is actually the eternal servant of Krishna. If you don't serve Krishna, you serve illusion. You don't have a choice. All right? So, who is that illusion? Serve illusion. Illusion means in varieties of three modes of nature: goodness, passion, ignorance. And thus wander perpetually. That means going wandering within the cycle of birth and death. Even the so-called liberated Mayavadi speculators has to undergo this process. This knowledge constitutes great science, and each and every living being has to hear it from his own interest. So that means this knowledge is what? This knowledge consists of great science. Okay, it's a book of science, and each and every living being has to hear it for his own interest. All right. So we understand this is also scientific presentation. People in general, especially in the age of Kali, are enamored by the external energy of Krishna. Enamored means what? Attracted, very highly, very attracted. Okay, by the external energy of Krishna. What is the external energy of Krishna? I think we have spoke about it before. Can anyone tell me what is the external energy of Krishna?
Material.
Material world, correct. Right? The external energy of Krishna is Prakriti or material world. And they were enamored by the external energy of Krishna, and they wrongly think that advancement of material comfort, every man will be happy. They wrongly think advancement in material world, everyone will be happy. They have no knowledge that the material world, material or external nature is very strong. They have no knowledge that material or external nature is very strong. For everyone is strongly bounded. Everyone is strongly bound by the stringent law of material nature. A living entity is happily the part and parcel of the Lord. That means what? The living entity is happily the part and parcel of the Lord. So we are the part and parcel, and thus his natural function is to render immediate service to the Lord. All right, immediate service to the Lord. By the spell of illusion, one tries to be happy by serving his personal sense gratification in the different form, which will never make him happy. Instead of satisfying his own personal material senses, he has to satisfy the sense of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. The Lord wants this, and he demands it. He wants this, and he demands it. Surrender unto me. I will protect you. One has to understand the central point of Bhagavad Gita. Our Krishna conscious movement is teaching the whole world this central point. And because we are not polluting the theme, of Bhagavad Gita as it is, anyone seriously interested in deriving benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita must take help from Krishna conscious movement for practical understanding of Bhagavad Gita under the direct guidance of the Lord. We hope, therefore, that people will derive the great benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita as it is, as we have presented it here. And even if one man becomes, now let's look at this. Now, after explaining this, now let's look at Prabhupada's mission. What he says, even one man becomes pure devotee of the Lord, we shall consider our attempt a success. So to become a pure devotee of the Lord, it is not an easy task. It takes so much of effort. It takes lifetime of practice. All right. So, Prabhupada, even if one man becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, we shall consider our attempt a success. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, 12th May 1971, Sydney, Australia. The thing was written actually, you know when? After is the what they call the forward was written after his visit to Malaysia. You know, on 5th May he came to Malaysia along with the deities. Then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 10. Okay, after 5 days, he's traveled from Kuala Lumpur, Teluk Intan, Ipoh, Penang. Then he flew back, right? So after that period, he went back and he wrote this, what they call the forward. Okay. So now we're going to start the introduction, which is going to be a very long introduction. So now is 7:10. Shall we just take a short break? Okay. We take a short break, then we continue. Hare Krishna. Okay, let's continue. All right. So now let's look at that introduction. Okay. So this introduction is actually the Mangala Charan that we usually chant. All right. So before we do the introduction, I would like to, why this is wrong? Okay. I'd like to explain words. All right. For instance, okay, certain pronunciation in Sanskrit. Krishna, what is happening? Right. First, like this word, M dot on top. Second is JN like this. The third is when there's a word like this. All right. Then, all right, there's a S like this. Okay. And the second S like this. And the third S like this. Right. Okay. And there is a O. And what happened if the O and what does it apostrophe means? Right. All right. There's a T like this. And the word E. Right. So, and also what happened the last word when there's a H comes in a dot. Okay. So I'm going to give a quick explanation about proper pronunciation of Sanskrit. Is that okay? Do you all want to know or shall we just move on?
Yes, Prabhu, please explain.
All right. Okay. The first letter when we see Om, okay, we see the word all right. We see the first letter Om. Om. Okay. Caps lock. Om. Okay. When we see the first letter Om, right? The Om, the M, ended with this with the dot on top. Okay. When you see the Om with the dot on top, so what does that mean? That means the M we're going to pronounce, okay, the M we're going to pronounce like M, we're going to pronounce like the pronunciation is All right, we're going to pronounce it as You got it? So why it sounds Because the means you're going to pronounce the M with a dot on top from your nose. So so that means that you don't close your mouth, you don't close your lips. Not om. Okay, say the M from the nose. All right, so it sounds like ng. So far so good. Please participate.
Yes, Guru.
Everyone, oh, don't put a thumbs up because here I cannot see the thumbs up. Okay, all right. Second word is like this. J and A. All right, J and A. All right. So now when you see the word J and A, and on top of these there's a line. Can you see the second? Can you see the thing here? Right? J and there's a line above J N. Can you see this? You understand what I'm referring to? J
Yes.
and there's a line on top. So when you see this word, how we pronounce? We pronounce as nya. Nya. Okay, we pronounce as nya, not jna. Nya. Okay.
Okay.
All right. The third word is A. Now, A or sometimes I. Sometimes there's a word I. All right, like this. AI. So when you see the word AI, when you see there's a dash on top of this A or I, what do? You pull the raga. So that means okay. Or the word I, you pull the raga E. Okay.
Okay.
All right. At the same time, all right, where's the sample that we are seeing here? We are seeing like, for instance, A, right? I is not okay. Unmilitam. See, you see the I? There's a dash on top. I, there's a dash on top. So E. All right. Okay. Now, but when you see the word like O, you see the word O, you naturally pull the raga. O. Okay. Or when you see the word E, you naturally pull the raga E. Okay. Here you do not need to have any marking. So when you see the word O or E, we naturally pull the raga. Example, like this one, you see, Om Anyanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya. Because there's an A on top, so we pull the raga. Chakshur unmilitam yena. Okay, the word E here is here. Okay, so you see the word E here. So E, we see the word O. So that means we see yena chakshur unmilitam yena. So that means there's no need to put any dash for you to pull the raga. Okay. Now, okay. Then that's okay. Now, okay. So I have already explained O. O, we no need to think about. Right? You see the word O. Mano. Right? O. Mano. Okay. Now you see another word here, especially when it ends in vowel. Okay, like example here is mano. All right? Mano. All right? The word mano is here. Okay, that's the O. I just take out the O. Then after that, that's another word is a Bishtam. Bishtam. Right? Okay. Example, Bishtam. So now, okay. So now what happened? Here, there's an apostrophe. There's an apostrophe. Yes or not? Can you see the word apostrophe here? B apostrophe. So what does that mean? So that means this word, example, this mano bishtam. So that means we usually what we do is we try to combine these two words. All right, we try to combine these two words. Right? Or in other words, this is or in other words, we also can say we combine the entire letter. We combine the entire letter. Okay. So when there is a apostrophe, what does that mean? That means here there's a thing called there is a silent A is presented. That means there's a silent A there. Right? So that means at this place, there is a silent A. Okay. So when you look at the translation, when you break up the meaning, it says as abhishtam. So mano, that means O, that means end up with vowel, starting with vowel, the A becomes silent. So mano bishtam. So how are we going to say? So now this mantra we say Sri Chaitanya Mano Bishtam. So A, we don't pronounce the way. We don't pronounce Mano Abhishtam. We just pronounce Mano Bishtam. So in other words, we also combine this entire word here. Sri Chaitanya Mano Bishtam. Mano, o. So A becomes silent. So Mano Bishtam. You got it? Everyone following me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Who don't follow me? Don't put thumbs up, say up, speak up.
Yes,
Prabhu,
Great.
you all are following.
Who's this? Sadguna Mataji, what did you
Yeah.
say?
No, following, Prabhu. You understand?
Following. Okay, right. Okay. So Mano Bishtam. You got it? Pronunciation. Okay, now let's look at the next word. All right. Now we see the word of varieties of S. Okay, there's S. There's another word S. All right. So in these three things, okay, let's look at the dots here. Okay. The first S, just a normal S. The second S as an apostrophe. And the third S has a dot at the bottom. You all following me, eh? So that means this is the S we pronounce like saya. Right? Or in Malay, saya, sa. Just a word sa. And this S with apostrophe, we're going to pronounce like, take the tip of your tongue, put it on your teeth. Sha. 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 So how are we going to pronounce? The pronunciation is like shampoo. So sha. Shamalan. Shamalan. Shampoo. Okay, the pronoun if there's an S with apostrophe. But if there's an apostrophe, but if the thing comes at the bottom, all right, at the bottom, how are we going to pronounce? Roll your tongue, put in your palate. Yeah. Put on the top of your palate. Then close your mouth. Sha. So the word becomes deeper. Sha. So sa, sha, sha, sha. Okay, it sounds, you roll your tongue and use the word sha. So sha. All right. So here the sounds like example. All right, like a okay, it sounds like this. You know, sometimes when you go to the clinic, they put the word shh. Now they don't do it, but last time they used to have shh, quiet. So like that. Okay. At the same time, when you see the word like T, D, right? So when you see the T and D with the dot at the bottom, okay, we're going to pronounce ta, T at the bottom. So anytime you see a bottom, there's a dot, roll your tongue. Ta, ta, sha, ta. When you see the word D, da, da. Okay, like when you look at this normal D here, when you look at this normal D here, we just say D, dasya. But when there's a dot, tasya, ta. All right? So far, so good? Have I confused? So T, anything at the dot, ta. Roll your tongue, ta, sha, da. Okay? All right. Now, another thing, say like if the word ends like this. Right? H, right? There's a in front. A, then H, E, then followed by H, I, followed by H, or O, followed by H. Can you see this? Right, now you see better?
Yeah, now better, Prabhu.
Can you see, huh?
Yes, yes,
Ends
yes.
like this. All right. So now when you see, if any of these letters end like this, okay, first you see A, then there's a dot, H, there's a dot at the bottom. There's a dot at the bottom, and the dot at the bottom, and the dot at the bottom. So what does that mean? So when you see, okay, when you see H, when you see H at the dot, so that means it's the end. Dot means the word is, there's a silent A at the back. All right, that means ha, ha. So when there's an A in front, so the sounds like A, H, A. So that means ha. So when there's an E, H at the dot at the bottom, so that means there's a silent E at the back. Okay, and when you see there's a I, so I, H, there's a silent I at the back. When you see O, H, that means there's a silent O at the back. Okay, what does that mean? It's like this. Okay, example. Now I see, when I see example like, okay, now when you see Swayam Rupa. Okay, Rupa, there's a H at the dot at the back. So Swayam Rupa. You don't use the word ha. You don't say ha, Rupa, ha. Not like that. Rupa. So that means you don't conclude the word. Like don't conclude. Rupa ha. All right. If E means Rupehe, I means Rupihi, O means Rupoho. Okay. So that is the basic pronunciation when it comes to the basic Sanskrit. Any questions so far? Please take photo of this snapshot. So keep it for your future reference. Because as we go on in Bhagavad Gita, I also will encourage you to do a proper pronunciation. If you pronounce the verses nicely, properly, you start to have the taste. Because Bhagavad Gita, the verses actually spoken by Krishna. Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's word, there's no difference. And Krishna's spoken is also Krishna. So we have to follow this. Any questions?
Prabhu, can you please pronounce the T and the D again?
Okay, T and D, yeah?
Mm.
Right. I don't know how to put it in English. Okay. Okay. When you see a T, any time you see there's a dot at the bottom, okay, Mataji,
Yes, yes.
you
yes,
need to
Prabhu.
roll your tongue to your palate.
Yes.
Roll your tongue and put it on the palate. Can you do that?
Yes. Good.
And pronounce T now.
T.
Ta,
T. Ta.
ta, ta.
T. T.
Okay, if you just normal pronunciation T is how? Ta, 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 right? The, ta, right? But you roll your tongue and put it on your palate. Ta.
T. T. Okay, okay.
Okay,
Mm.
and you pronounce D now, D. How are you going to pronounce? Roll your tongue.
Yeah.
Try to pronounce D.
Also put on the palate.
Yes. Because there's a dot at the bottom, right?
Okay, okay. D. D.
D.
D.
Ah, you got it. D.
D. Mm. D. Okay.
Okay. So that's the thing.
D. D.
Now
Ah.
S. S.
Sorry, Prabhu.
S. Pronounce S at the dot at the bottom.
Dot at the bottom will be S. Kr.
This one.
Kr. Yeah.
Roll your tongue. Roll
On
your
the
tongue and
palate.
put it on the palate. Yeah. And say say sa.
Kr. Kr.
Sha. Sha.
Kr. Kr.
Because you already roll your tongue, you put it in the palate and your teeth will take sha. Sha.
Kr. Kr.
Okay?
Okay.
Yes. You got it.
Okay. Thanks, Prabhu.
Even in S, for instance, this word is, I think in Tamil, it looks like this. If I'm not mistaken. This is the sha. Okay? This is the word that is mentioned in Tamil. Okay? Anyone
Okay.
else? Any question? All good? Right. Now, let's start our pronunciation. Okay? Okay. Just listen to the way I pronounce and try to follow. Ong. So that means you're not saying ong, not O-N-G like Chinese name, ong. So you say ong. So there's a word M, you pronounce from your nose. Okay? Now let's listen. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana sorry, right? Jnananjana Shalakaya. Okay, must remember the A, yeah? So Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur, as at the dog. Chakshur. You see, if you see the U, you pronounce, you can pull the raga. I just now said only O and I, right? Did I say O and E? Oh, I forgot to say U. Even U also, the word U also you can pull the raga. Not only O and, okay? Not only E and O, but even U. Okay? Chakshur militang yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. So each there's a dot. So ha namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Bishtam. So there's a silent A. Shri Chaitanya Mano right? Bishtha. So Shri Chaitanya Mano Bishtham Stapitang Yena Bhutale Swayang Rupa. Okay, pa. So Rupa. Okay, Rupa. So Swayang Rupa Kada Mayang Dadatisva Padantikam Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayang Dadati Swapadantikam. The first invocation mantra. It's mentioned like this. Please try to memorize these mantras. Very important. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. Okay, how? That means the spiritual master came and lightened up your heart, right? I was born in the darkest ignorance. Okay, we are born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes. How he opened my eyes? With the torch of knowledge. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada? You understood who is Rupa Goswami yesterday? We have understood. Okay, Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, and why we are Rupa Nugas. So when will Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? Okay. So now, see, there's a E and there's an apostrophe. So Vandeham. So there's a aham. So when you combine Vandeham, all right. Vandeham Shri Guru. So there's O, H, O. That means Guru Ho. Okay. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakam Shri Yuta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitang Tang Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna. So R all dot. R, 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 R. So Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saha Gana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitangscha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, unto the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother Sanatan Goswami, as well as Raghunath Das and Raghunath Bhatta. Gopala Patta, Sri Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, along with Advaita Acharya, Gadadhara, Srivasa, and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani, Sri Krishna, along with the associates Sri Lalita and Vishakha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho, Dina Bandho Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta Namostude. So see, Namostude, so there's a silent A. Radha Kanta Namostude. My dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distress and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Tapta Kanchana Gaurang Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. I offer my respectful obeisances. I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like a molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavana. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu. You are very dear to Lord Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubevacha Paditanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desire of everyone, just like desire trees. And they are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. I offer my respectful obeisances to Sri Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhara, Sri Vasa, and all other in line of devotion. Now everybody, let's do this together 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhagavad Gita is known as Gita Upanishad. What is Gita Upanishad? That means Upanishad. Gita Upanishad. So I ask you to underline the word just now that says Krishna spoke to his disciple Arjuna. The word Upanishad means when a spiritual master and disciple sits in a close proximate, that means they sit close to each other, and the Guru gives instruction. When the Guru gives instruction to the disciple in a close proximity, that is called Upanishad. Everyone following me on this? Come on, speak up.
Yes, Prabhu.
You're all following, yeah?
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhu, yes.
So, okay, Upanishad. So we understand the word Upanishad means the conversation near. That means the Guru and the disciple, the preceptor and the disciple student are sitting at a close proximity and discussing. So that's why it's Upanishad. So now in the battlefield of this Kurukshetra, Krishna, the Supreme Person, is talking to his disciple Arjuna in a very close range. That's why it's also called as Upanishad. So what Upanishad is called? It is called as Gitopanishad. So Gitopanishad. In this, it is the essence of the Vedic knowledge. All right. So what we understand from here, this Upanishad is not an ordinary thing because it is the essence of Vedic knowledge. It's happening to my mouse, Krishna. You have to change my mouse. Right. Anyway, so please underline the statement in your book. You have a book with you. So please underline the statement because I think I can't create underlines. So it is the essence of Vedic knowledge. It's the essence of Vedic knowledge. So the entire Vedic knowledge is there. But what is the essence? Right? What is the essence? Okay. So the essence is the Bhagavad Gita or Gita Upanishad is the essence of Vedic knowledge and one of the most important Upanishad. So there are 108 Upanishads. So this is the most important Upanishad in Vedic literature. Of course, there are many commentaries in English, Prabhupada said, on Bhagavad Gita. And one may question the necessity, all right? The necessity of another one. What is the point? We have so many. Why another one? So this present edition can be explained in the following way. Recently, an American lady asked me to recommend an English translation of Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada said. Of course, in America, there are so many editions of Bhagavad Gita available in English. But as far as I have seen, not only in America, but also in India, none of them can be strictly said to be authoritative because it is almost every one of them is everything. The commentators has expressed his own opinion. He expressed his own opinion without touching the spirit of Bhagavad Gita as it is. Prabhupada always say this term, do not give your opinion. Like sometimes I say, in my opinion, who are you to give your opinion? We have imperfect soul. We have imperfect senses. We have imperfect intelligence. We have all imperfection within ourselves. How can we give opinion on this great literature of Krishna? That's why sometimes they say, in my opinion, Prabhupada says, stop it. You don't have a right to give your opinion. Right? So that's why I say, in my opinion. So they say, but that's why everybody gives their own opinion without touching the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. The spirit of Bhagavad Gita is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita itself. Right? So when you look at that, when you take a fruit juice, especially mango juice, in that mango juice, the taste of the mango juice is in the juice itself. You don't need to look for somewhere else. Right? So the spirit of Bhagavad Gita is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita itself. It is just like this. If we want to take a particular medicine, Prabhupada gave an analogy. If we want to take a particular medicine, then we have to follow the direction written on the label. Yes or not? You want to take medicine, you must follow the direction written on the label. We cannot take the medicine according to our own whim or direction of a friend. The friend says, Namaila, just take a gulp. You know, you take a Benadryl, just take a gulp. You know, there's a cough mixture. You're supposed to take 1 tablespoon. Or you say, Namaila, just take a gulp. Then you pingsan, you know. So like that. So you cannot follow the direction of a friend. It must be taken according to the direction of the self-label or the direction given by a physician. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita should be taken or accepted as it is, directed by the speaker himself. The speaker of Bhagavad Gita is Lord Sri Krishna. He is mentioned on every page of Bhagavad Gita as the Supreme Personality of Godhead or Bhagavan. Of course, the word Bhagavan sometimes, Prabhupada explained, so sometimes, you know, refers to any powerful person. Sometimes the word Bhagavan can be also referred to some powerful person or any powerful demigod. And certainly here, Bhagavan designates Lord Krishna as a great personality. But at the same time, we should know that Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as is confirmed by all great acharyas. All right. So now we have to get confirmation. Who told you that Krishna is Supreme Personality? So then Prabhupada is explaining that he is confirmed by all great acharyas. Acharya means what? Spiritual teachers. Like Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Madhva, not Madhava, Madhvacharya, Nimbarka Swami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and many other authorities of Vedic knowledge in India. The Lord himself also established himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, even Krishna says that I am the Supreme. And he is accepted as such in the Brahma Sanghita. So the word Sang, M. So Brahma Sanghita. And all the Puranas, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Bhagavad Puran. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Okay. Therefore, we should take Bhagavad Gita as it is, directly by the personality of Godhead. Okay. All right. Now, so far, any question? All good? Okay. In the 4th chapter of the Gita, that is text 4, chapter 4, text 1 to 3. 1, 2, 3. Lord says, Imang Vishvate Yogang Proktavan Ahang Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manur Ikshvakave Bravid Evam Parampara Praptam Emang Raja Rishiyo Viduhu Sakale Neha Mahata Yogo Nasta Parantapa Sa Evayang Maya Tedya Yoga Prokta Puratana Bhaktosi Me Sakha Cheti Rahasyang Hetat Uttamam. Here the Lord informed Arjuna that this system of yoga, the Bhagavad Gita, was first spoken to the sun god. And the sun god explained it to Manu, and Manu explained it to Ikshvaku, and in that way, by disciplic succession, one speaker after another, this yoga system has been coming down. But in the course of time, it has become lost. Consequently, the Lord has to speak again, this time to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. All right. So this is the thing that says, what is the reason that again is spoken? Because the Lord informed that this is first spoken to sun god, but now he is speaking again because that parampara is broken. Because it's very important knowledge, right? But here, the difference is when Krishna was instructing Ikshvaku, Krishna was presenting to Vivaswan, the sun god, he might have elaborated long. But here in battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna just spoke 574 times. That's it. In that short verses, in that short, the little slokas that he spoke, he have summarized and he gave the essence of all Vedic literature. Okay. Now it's 11:53. If I go to the next one, it's going to take a long. So we stop here. So we open for questions. Those who have a book, please mark your book. keep Bhagavad Gita handy with you. Here, the Lord informs Arjuna. Okay. Okay. Jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. So, okay, we continue on Friday. So now let's open for questions. Is there any questions that you want to ask? Okay. Another thing is, tomorrow I'm going for my routine checkup. Sometimes it usually finishes early. All right. So I just don't want to take it. Sometimes it takes long. Like that day I went to give blood, took me until 2 hours. Sometimes it's just 5 minutes only. So if at all, if I finish my medical checkup quickly, can we do Bhagavad Gita tomorrow? Say like maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock, but maybe up to 11. Is that okay? Okay, now we discuss in the group. If not, we will just take a break tomorrow. We'll continue on Friday. Okay. So any questions? Anything you want to know? Anything that you want to clear your doubt? All good? Why today the group is so silent? No reciprocation at all. Today is what day? Wednesday
Prabhu,
blues.
I have a question, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Just now you said that if we surrender to Krishna, then Krishna will protect us right in the beginning.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So what's the true meaning of surrender? Is it if we accept Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead, that's already surrendering?
That is the first step of surrendering. First step of surrendering, that means I'm taking an authority. Yes or not?
Okay.
Say like, for
Correct.
instance, now you're a teacher in Malaysia. Now you're going to
Okay.
Singapore. So first you have to surrender to their system. So that means you
Okay.
accept them. That's the Singapore education system is like, I follow that system. That's the first form of surrender, accepting Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead. All right.
So that's only the first step. There's more.
First step, yes. Then followed by the following steps are
Okay.
like this. The following
Okay.
steps is we have to surrender our mind, intelligence, ego. Okay, we are not surrendering in the body. We have to surrender our mind, our intelligence, our
Okay.
ego. So how are we going to surrender our mind, intelligence, and ego? Okay, we're going to surrender it by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, step 1. All right, because
Okay.
Hare Krishna mantra is a vibration, and through that vibration, our mind is purified. So when your mind is
Okay.
purified, all your senses, everything start purification. Because the mind, everything grouped upon mind. You will study in Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says everything grouped upon the mind. Say, now I'm a human body. I'm acting like this because the mind says, now you're a human body. And next, but if I'm born as a dog, so that means the mind will say, now you're a dog, you act accordingly. So everything grouped upon the mind. So all the senses, the core place is the mind controls. So when the mind is purified by chanting the holy name, your entire senses systems will get purified. All right. Then after that, we read Bhagavad Gita. We read Bhagavad Gita. Why we read Bhagavad Gita? Why we read the Purana? Why we are reading all these books? Because we want to purify our intelligence. First, mind is there, but the intelligent factor is still there. The intelligent department is still there, giving you information. So the intelligence also has to purify. So when the mind only purified, when the intelligence is not purified, we will be always in anxiety. Sometimes, okay, like for instance, okay, I feel like doing something which I suppose not. Okay, I just feel like eating KFC chicken.
Okay.
It says don't, but intelligence says okay lah. Then after you eat, you feel very guilty. Why did I follow this? Why I feel guilty? Because you want to give. There's a conflict. So in order to get rid of the conflict, you purify your intelligence simultaneously. So your purification of simultaneous intelligence purifying by reading the Sastra. I believe that all of you having a lot of transformation happening. Like people are chanting 15, 16 rounds. People are chanting 32 rounds. People are even chanting 64 rounds. Why? Because the intelligence already said you have no choice other than chanting. And also it says chanting is good. Chanting is fantastic. All right. So first the intelligent mind says that, but intelligence says, yes, good. I agree with you. It's good. Go ahead. So we have to make both of them to work together. You understand? So when both of them sometimes cannot work together, it always conflict. Your mind can be purified, your intelligence don't get purified. Sometimes people like to read all the books, but they don't know how to chant. So that means they are but the mind is not purified. It's still not a balanced situation. So therefore, what we need to do? We need to surrender to a spiritual master. The step 3, surrendering to spiritual master. First step, surrender to the Supreme Personality. Step
Okay.
2, follow, surrender to the system like chanting Hare Krishna and reading the Sastra. Step 3, surrender to the spiritual master. Because Krishna also says, you surrender to my spiritual, to my devotees, serve him. And because they are very pleased to you, they can impart the knowledge because they have seen the truth. We will study that in Bhagavad Gita, I think chapter 3, if I'm not mistaken. Chapter 3, we will study that. Very nice verse. So you surrender to the spiritual master, number 3. The third thing is surrender to the spiritual master. So after we surrender to the spiritual master, then by the guidance of spiritual master, by the help of the spiritual master, again we try to follow step 2. Now we are trying to control our mind and senses, because once we get by the mercy of spiritual master, that means the strength of the entire parampara is open up to you. So now you tend to chant better, you tend to read better. Right? Then all these things happen. Then now what do you do? Durena hyavaram karma. Krishna says in 246 or 254, right? Say Durena hyavaram karma. That means Durena. Durena means far away. Hya avaram karma. That means Durena, certainly. He means certainly. Avaram means impurity. All abominable. What abominable? Karma, activity. So throw away all your abominable activity. Durena hyavaram karma. In that consciousness, surrender unto me. First, you surrender to Krishna. You accepted Krishna as the Supreme. Step 1. Then
Okay.
step 2, you try to purify your mind and intelligence. You struggle. Then you surrender to a guru. And then after the surrender, the guru will give you blessing. And through the blessing, you try again to chant and read under his guidance or under his influence. Then your mind and intelligence gets purified better. So once your mind and intelligence get purified better, now you surrender back to Krishna again. So now the second type of surrender is more intense and more powerful. All right. So in that surrender, what do? You surrender at second time of surrender, you surrender your mind, your intelligence, and especially your ego. The third thing very hard to surrender, your ego. What is that ego means? Who am I? I'm an Indian. Who am I? I'm a Malaysian. I'm a teacher. I am this. I am that. You're trying to teach me. I got 30 years experience teaching. You're trying to teach me. I. So when there's a term I and mine, that's when people suffer miserably. So the false ego is very hard to give up. I think you were not there when I was explaining about going back home, back to Godhead. The process of going back, you break away all the 5 gross elements, air, water, ether, fire. Then you go to the subtle element, intelligence, mind. The last element to break is false ego, ahankar. People go there, they fall back. They cannot break. But by the mercy of the spiritual master, you'll be able to break that ahankar. And that's a place, it's a thick place. And who stays there? Kala Bhairava, the time personified of Lord Shiva, sits there. Say like there's one, I always forget his name. There's one devotee was going back home, back to Godhead. So after you break away that the last false ego, you go to Kailash. So what happened? He was going back home, back to Godhead. And this particular person, what is his name, Prabhu? That day Vaishnava Prabhu told me this name. So he was going, then he was going. When he was going, he saw Lord Shiva, he just nodded. Because he and Lord Shiva are good friends. He just smiled. I nodded. And Mother Parvati got offended. He said, why are you laughing at me? Because Mother Parvati was sitting on Shiva's lap.
Chitraketu.
Chitraketu. Sitting on the lap of Shiva. Imagine, in front of everybody, when you take your wife and put on your lap, what people think? Think you are crazy. But a person who can do that, he is the person who has absolute power. When he's very powerful, sometimes we see in movies, all right, the gangster will be sitting there and all the girls will be sitting around and hugging each other. Yes, all the girls around me, I'm a powerful man. Only the powerful man can do that. So she took it wrongly. Say, did you laugh at me? I curse you to become a demon. He was just about to break the last barrier, ahankar, to go back. But there he got cursed. He came back again as a demon. And end of the day, Krishna killed him and liberated him and took him back home, back to Godhead. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, the last layer, ahankar, is very hard to break. Very hard to break. And only can be broken by the mercy of spiritual master. All right. So now, after you take an initiation, after you start to follow sadhana bhakti, reading the books in detail, reading all the books of all previous acharyas, and by associating with proper devotees, not anybody with tilak become a devotee. That's when we have to make a discrimination that we have understood in Sri Harinam Chintamani. There's a 3 types of devotee. One is Kanishta, who are quite envious kind of devotee. Kanishta. They only respect the deity, but disrespect everybody. They don't respect the devotees. Second is Madhyama. They respect the deity, they respect the devotees. So we should discriminate. We should discriminate the devotees. You only associate with the devotee that you are very comfortable with, who are very confident. This is where you have to use your intelligence. Not anybody with tilak, oh, Hare Krishna, Prabhu, devotee, I surrender to you. Prabhu, please tell me what to do. You know something, I got this kind of problem. Really, huh? Because in Harinam Chintamani, Rupa Goswami said, you have to speak to a person, you have opened your heart. Suddenly you go to open heart, you're to a wrong person. And what will happen? He started to do Dosa Kirtan. You know, Rajina she's like that. You know, once upon a time, she's like that. She go around the world and down like that. And end of the day, you're going to get depressed. You know, you're going to feel very ashamed. So the thing that's supposed to be confidential, but this guy go around bang. So you must be very careful with whom you associate and to whom you open your heart. Right? So then what happened? So we have to be discriminate among the devotees. Then you have to associate with these proper devotees who can guide you, who don't have any ulterior motive. He doesn't have any ulterior motive, he or she, that want to take something from you or want to take some dakshina from you. You don't have all that kind of thought. You just have thought that let's do it together. No, I'm somewhere either on the way. Let me tell you, no, I don't want to go alone. Let me take you along with me. This kind of thing. So through that association, through that continuous chanting, continuous, what they call reading, when everything is purified, that's when you can break that last barrier, ahankar, you go back to it. So the thing is, first you surrender to Krishna, accepting Krishna at first. Then after that, you try to control your mind by chanting. You try to control your intelligence by reading. After all this process, but of course, you still struggle to surrender. Like what he says, what is surrender means? So you still not clear what is surrender at all. So that's the first step. Then now you accept the Guru, and through the blessings of Guru, you start to have, your purification process goes even faster. Your chanting, that means chanting 16 rounds minimum. You should go more if you can. So everything is accelerated. In that accelerated mode, as what Krishna says in the Durena Hyavaram Karma, throw everything all abominable through that devotional service. So there is mind is purified. Okay, when the mind is purified, automatically all your senses are purified. Your tongue won't taste for meat anymore. Your tongue won't taste for alcohol. You see, everything starts purified. Then after that, the intelligence also start to be purified by studying all the books. So in that consciousness, now you get a clearer picture. In that clearer picture, you surrender to Krishna. And this time you surrender to Krishna, you don't ask anything from Krishna. You know, even the devotees don't even ask, you want me give me heaven? I'm not interested. You want to give him Satyaloka, I'll praise the Lord Brahma? I'm not interested. You know, like what Dhruva Maharaj says, I give you the kingdom. He said, no, I don't want. I said, no, you want the kingdom of your father? I give you one whole planet, whole star, Sveta Dev Vaikunta Loka. I give you the entire planet. He said, no, I don't want. Even a Vaikunta, he said, no. That is what when everything gets purified. When the ahankar start to purify, the false ego start to get purified. So that means when everything is purified, then you surrender to Krishna. You want to give me Vaikunta? I'm not interested. I take you to Goloka Vrindavan? I'm not interested. Say, what? I am not interested in anything, dear Krishna. I just want to serve you eternally. You want to throw me to hell? I serve you there. You want to throw me to this ditch? I will serve you there. Like that. Like how to Prahlad. When the father threw him out from the cliff, he fell down, but he was just chanting the holy name. You throw me in the ditch, you throw me in the hell, you throw me in the what they call the shithole, or you throw me into Inda water pond. I don't care. I just simply want to chant your holy name. You come to the level of that kind of ecstasy that you become 100% desireless. So first you start with the associate devotee, then after that you do bhajana kriya, then after that you come to nishtha, the firm faith. Like that you go up, then you come to the level of bhava, the ecstatic feeling. And from the ecstatic feeling, when the ecstatic feeling will start, when your mind and intelligence both get purified, when you start associating gurus and all the pure devotees, then you go to the last level, prema. When you go to the prema, nothing matters. When Krishna says he's having a headache and told told Narada, go and get me the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee. That's the only cure. Take it and put my head. He went, Lord Shiva said, ran away. He said, nothing doing. Brahma, he said, no way. He went, approached everybody. He said, nobody willing to give that. And end of the day, he went to the gopis. But of course, in between, he got chastised. So with fear, he went to gopis. My dear gopis, can I ask you something? Say, yes. Krishna is having headache. All start to gabra already. They say, no, wait. But Krishna said there's a medicine. What is it doing? What is it do? You want the dust from your lotus feet. Dust, take it. Then they all start jumping. Oh, the dust. Make sure Krishna don't have headache. That is prema. They don't care. They are putting the head on Krishna's head. They're putting the leg on Krishna's head. There's no protocol. They are beyond. They don't even remember Krishna as Supreme Personality. That's prema, the highest. So when are you going to get it? Maybe this birth, next birth, or following birth, doesn't matter. Since you're in this path, from this birth until you achieve prema, your journey is going to be very comfortable and going to be very blissful. So there's no worries about this. But if you really want it, you need to perform. If you really want to get it quickly, now you have to do laulyam. Greed. You have to be greedy. You have to reduce your sleep so that you can chant more rounds. You reduce your prajalpa, talking nonsense. You read more. You start to just keep association in the term of, official relationship with all your family members, those who are non-devotees, official and dutiful relationship that we study in Bhakti Loka. Keep it that way so that you don't indulge with them, don't go with them, don't associate with them. Hi, Hare Krishna. Hi, okay. Is your children okay? Everything okay? Fine. Like to come. Please come to our house for lunch or for dinner. When they come to the house, cook nicely, serve, offer to Krishna Prasadam, offer that. Oh, very good. Oh, okay, bye-bye. That's it. Forget about it. No need to ask, how's this? Don't open your heart to non-devotees. Even if it's going to be a family member, it's going to spoil your sadhana. We studied that in Bhakti Loka. See how we can relate back. Those who went through. So like that, then you just go on. And eventually, after that, you are liberated in this very body itself. So that is how the surrender process. So in other words, surrender means just, I give an analogy. Say a Japanese soldier caught an American. He pointed the gun, or the American captured the Japanese. They say, Nihongo! They got a Japanese flag. They got all this paraphernalia, all like so proud Japanese. But when you surrender to America, what they'll do? They'll take out your flag. They take out your insignia, all your whatever title you have. They take out your uniform, they throw everything, strip you naked, on underwear, right? Strip you naked, strip you to the underwear. They all be standing in underwear. Then they check, then say, okay, now I give you protection. They send you to the prisoner of war. They give them, and they give them all protection, give them food, give them everything. They protect them. So like that. So when we want to surrender to Krishna, we have to give up all our possession. We have to give up all our ahankar, our ego. Who am I? What am I? This and that. All that nonsense thing. We just throw away aside. We just go to Krishna we have to go to Krishna and just depend on Krishna's mercy. Right? To come to that level, it takes so much of effort. But pray to Prabhupada, pray to your spiritual master, pray to Krishna in the form of Bhagavad Gita. I'm telling you, because I've been doing this Gita again class, I love Bhagavad Gita a lot. Just pray, my dear Bhagavad Gita, please guide me. And you'll be ecstatic. That's why when you start to read Bhagavad Gita word to word, it's unbelievable. That's why we started. Thank God Krishna inspired me to start from Chaya. Instruction, nectar of instruction, then Bhakti Aloka, then nectar of, what they call Harinam Chintamani. We went on a different route. We took a different route. We're supposed to take the route that is Ishopanishad, this is that. But we took a different route altogether. Right? So by this, when we go to Bhagavad Gita, that means with whatever knowledge that we have accumulated before, you start to appreciate Bhagavad Gita very nicely. Right? So you understand, Mataji, the process of surrender. So the first step, accepting Krishna as the personality of Godhead. That's it. Now you work on your chanting and your reading.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
That's why I said the pronunciation very important. Sometimes the food is served, the chapati, sabji is served, but the salt must be right and the pepper must be right. Correct or not? If there's no
Correct.
salt, tasteless. When there's no pepper, it is like dull. Similarly, the pronunciation of the mantra is very important. That's why that day I thought, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So when you go to pronounce, practice this very thoroughly, it's very sweet and very tasty. Very nice question, Mataji. Thank you for the question. How about others? Do you have any other question? Do you like this session today? Is it okay? Or is it too detailed? Is it too heavy?
Yes, fine.
Prabhu, I like it.
Huh? I didn't understand this. You talk like a walkie-talkie. Hello, hello, Roger, Roger. Come on, speak up.
Yes, to this, I like it, Prabhu, to this chapters.
So the pronunciation helps, huh, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu, nice.
Nice. Anthony, Mataji, you wanted to say something?
It was a good class, Prabhu, and I like the session where you taught us the pronunciation. So I think after this reading, the slokas will be even
Yes.
more wonderful.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Practice immediately. Just open one verse I believe you all have taken photo. Huh? So practice immediately. Go back to just open on Bhagavad Gita and try to pronounce it. Then you know what? You can start singing Bhagavad Gita. I used to sing Bhagavad Gita. You know, from verse 1 to verse 700. Just sing the song. It is beautiful. You want to hear some of the songs?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just say that, okay, I just opened randomly. It came up to chapter 4. Right? Just say like chapter 4. Okay, how are you going to sing? All right, just like this. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Emang Vivashvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manur Ikshvakave Bravit Evam Parampara Praptam Emam Raja Rishio Vidu Sakalineha Mahata Yoga Nashta Parantapa Sa evayam mayate Dhyayoga Prokta Puratana Bhaktosmi me sakacheti Rahasyam hetat uttamam Arjuna vacha Aparam bhavato janma Param janma vivaspataha Katam etat vijaniyam Tvam adau proktavaniti Sri Bhagavan vacha Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava charjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natvam vitta parantapa ajopi san avyayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritim sva adhistaya sambhavamyatma mayaya yada yada hi dharmasya Glanir-bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajamaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam dharma samsthapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge janma karma chame divyam evam yo viti tatvataha Yakta dehang punarjanma naiti mam iti sorjuna. Like that, you just can go on singing. And once you've mastered the Bhagavad Gita, there's even more flavor. You know what? Whenever you start to see, like in chapter 1 or chapter 2, without you realizing, your intonation will start to reduce. All right? So there it says, example. So, starting from all right. So, starting from 128, where the Arjuna became very upset. All right. He started to see all his family members are there to fight. He became so heartbroken. Arjuna vacha Ristvemang Swajanam Krishna Yuyutsum Samupastitam Sidanti Mamagatrani Mukam Cha Parushayati Vepatuscha Sharire Me Romaharshascha jayate. Gandivam is falling down. Gandivam shamshate hastat tvakchaiva paridayate. Skin start burning. Nacha shakno yamavastatum brahmati vachame manaha nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava. I only see misfortune. Kim no rajena govinda kim bhoge jivitena va yesham arte kamshittam no rajyam bhoga sukani cha te ta ime vastita yutte pranam tyaktvadanani cha acharya pitaras putra tataiva cha pitamaha. How am I supposed to kill my family members? How am I supposed to kill my pitamaha, Bhishma? How am I supposed to kill my friends? How am I supposed to kill my uncles? How am I supposed to kill my father-in-law? How can I kill my spiritual master, Dronacharya, Kripacharya? How am I before? But I'm so sad. Matula, Swashura, Pautra, even Mautula, our uncles, Swashura, remember? Putra, all my sons. Shala, Sambandina, Tata, Etanna, Hantum Ichami, Gnatopi, Madhusudana. Can you see Madhusudana? They are there, ready to fight, ready to kill. Api Trailokya Rajasya, Heto Kimnu Mahikrite, Nihatya Dartarastranna, Na Priti Sajanardana. No point me leaving Krishna by killing all these people. No point me leaving. What am I going to achieve by killing all these sons of Dhritarashtra? I rather do not leave. So please, I'm not prepared to fight, oh Madhusudana. Even to exchange with this three world. Even you got me 3 million, I'm not going to fight. Let alone this earth. What do you mean this earth? Take it. What pleasure? What am I going to get from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? So like that, when you read, when you start to understand this Gita nicely, when you read from chapter 1, when it comes to the lamentation of Arjuna, you somehow or other will become sober. You become dull. You become like sad. Then after that, you go. Then after that, when Krishna starts to speak, that's even nice. They say like, for instance, how this impurity came upon you? Your tone will start to increase, like chastising. Hey, you, Kshatriya, why this impurity came upon you? The mantras will come in the form of chastising or scolding. So you just follow the rhythm. It's beautiful. That's what I'm telling you. And then there's people, Brahmanas in India, they used to chant the entire Bhagavad Gita for daily prayers, morning prayers. It takes 45 minutes to chant the entire Bhagavad Gita if you become expert. All right, for me, it takes 4 hours. But for expert, because they're reading from the day 1. Every morning we do Mangala Arati, right? When we do the prayers, they just open the Bhagavad Gita and they just sing from 700 verses. They just sing like a song and they could finish it, the entire Bhagavad Gita, 45 minutes, then they pack, they eat breakfast and they go to work. Imagine. Such a beautiful thing. Yes, Mataji.
So pleasing to the ears.
Yeah, I want you to have that pleasure. It's very pleasurable. All right, so try to all the verses. See, when you learn how the verse, the raga, the pull, the A and the top dash, you pull the raga, then you come down, you can get the rhythm. When you start to get the rhythm. And in fact, once we also did with Mridanga and Kartal. Manmana Bhavamat Bhakto Matya Jima Namaskuru Mame Bashyashi Yuktai Atmanam Matparayana Dan Dan Ta Dan Dan Ta. Then they play the Mridanga and the Kartal. We just go on. It's amazing feeling. Something that has to be relished. So who knows? Maybe soon, maybe this year, Gita Gyan program. That the Gita Jayanti, we can all sing Gita together. Right? Let's see. Let's see what Krishna decides. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So any other questions? Okay. If there's no question, it's already 11:23. Okay. We end the session today. We meet again on Friday. If I am early tomorrow, we meet tomorrow morning. All right. Till then, have a beautiful, blissful, Krishna conscious day. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubheva cha Paditanam pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Dora Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.